Hello there folks, welcome to video number 155. This one is on reflection, another one of the 4 transformations that we have in the world of maths. Reflection is a symmetry. It's when one thing, an image flips into another image. It fits exactly onto it in a mirror line, and a mirror line is the line that does that flipping of the image. It's where the image flips. Okay, the point of symmetry. The line of symmetry is what it is. So the method states you may find using tracing paper is really useful for doing a reflection, and it is, but I can't use that on here. I mentioned that in the last video. You will be asked to reflect a shape or describe a reflection. In either case, you need to count squares. It's the county squares method that's really worthwhile here. Count the squares between each corner of the shapes and the mirror line. Sometimes you need to draw the mirror line in from a given equation and then reflect or describe. Okay, so it's useful to understand equations of lines here in this particular topic, which I have got a video on in the graph section, so please watch it if you do need to. Now, in question 1, reflect shape A in the mirror line and label it B. So I'm going to zoom in to this one, and we are going to have a look a little bit closer at it. If we're going to reflect shape A in this mirror line, we have to count the squares from all the vertices of shape A, all right, and reflect them in this particular mirror line. The blue dotted line here is the mirror line. I didn't label it as such, but it would be labeled for you. So I'm going to go 1, 2 squares to get to the mirror line there. So 1, 2 squares away. Okay, I'm just going to put a little dot there, and then what I need to do is go to this point here, 1, 2, 3 squares away, 1, 2, 3 squares away. Okay, and then this point over here is 1, 2, 3 away, 1, 2, 3 away, and then yeah, this one is 1, 2 away, 1, 2 away. Okay, so you can see that that is where the reflection is going to take place. That is where it's going to be. Oops, I can't get rid of that, so put that in, and just remember that I did put those there, and that is where it's going to be. There's my line tool. Label it B. So get that back and put a B in there. Okay, pretty simple that one. Pretty simple stuff. Let's zoom out of that. Have a little look at the next one. Now, the next one, hopefully you can see this question here. I think you probably can. But 2 parts to it. A, reflect shape reflect shape C in the line y equals 0.5 and label it D. And then B asks us to reflect shape C in the line of y equals x and label it E. So it's a lot more complicated than the first one, but pretty simple if you understand equations of lines. All right, so I'm going to draw a line in here, which will be the mirror line. Okay, I need to reflect it in this mirror line. Now I'm going to do that with a red line. Now 0.5 on the y-axis lays here. Okay, so I need a horizontal line that goes through the point 0.5 on the y-axis. Then I'm going to do my reflection. Okay, so the reflection will be, and if I get the blue back up to do that, 1 square away there, there's our point that we need to draw. That's going to go down to there, that's going to go across to there, and then that's going to go to there. Okay, so that is a pretty simple reflection to do, again, much like the first question, but in that one we're going to label D. Okay, now we've also been asked to reflect C in the line y equals x and label it E. Okay, so let's draw the line y equals x on there. Hopefully it won't get too confusing. I'll draw a different color line for the line y equals x. Put a green one in. Right, so the line y equals x is where you can start at 0, 0 if you want, but we've got some negatives here that we can start at. So we'll start at minus 2 minus 2 would be down here, even though minus 2 is not labelled. Okay, then we've got minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so that line there is the line of y equals x. When y is something, x is the same thing. All right, now that is a more complicated reflection to do. Okay, so I will do that one again, and I will use the blue thingy, the blue tool. To do that, I'm going to count the squares. So diagonally this time, I'm going to go across 1.5. So half and 1. That point there is where I need to start the reflection. Okay, this point here is 1 whole diagonal across, 2 whole diagonals across. So as long as you carry on the same trajectory, you're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, there you go. You could use tracing paper. It would be nice to do that, but I can't do that in the computer. And then this one, we're going to go 1 diagonal across, 2 diagonal across, and half. So half, 1, and 2. All right, and if you do that, you just count the squares again. You're not going to go wrong. All right, and it is a reflection that looks a bit weird to begin with, but if you think about it, that reflects perfectly onto that. If you were going to fold this, like imagine this was on a piece of paper, fold it down that mirror line, that would fit exactly onto that side. Okay, and that will be labelled E, because that's our reflection in the line y equals x of shape C. Okay, you might get asked to do that in a grid. We'll do a couple of things at once. All right, so a lot more difficult than the first one, but hopefully that's still doable. Right, and the third and final one, sorry, everything has to disappear there because I need to move myself over, and describe in this question, it's another description one, describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. Okay, so what you can see is there is no mirror line that's been drawn on there. We have to figure out what that mirror line is. All right, but this is definitely a reflection, obviously, because it's in a reflection video. But you can see that this image has been flipped onto this side somehow. All right, now that mirror line, you probably can visualize it if you think about this square here going diagonally, sorry, this point here on point A, all right, going diagonally across to get to here, one square, another diagonal across to get to there. All right, that's another one. So that point there is going to be the line of reflection for that point to that point. Let's just look at the other points. So 1, 2 and a half, half, 1 and 2, 2.5 that way, 2.5 that way. So there's another point there. Okay, and what we can do is start to just think about joining that up. All right, where's that line going? What's the equation of that line? All right, because if you carry it on, you'll see, and it is a visual thing, you know, you can just draw that in and think, oh yeah, that's probably about right, right? But then count the squares. So you got 1, 2.5, half, 1 and 2 to get to that point there. All right, so that makes sense. All right, that's definitely our line of reflection or mirror line. Draw it in. You'll get a mark for it if you draw it in. All right, but now we need to describe it. So I'm just going to describe it using the pen so I can write nicely. Now, again, it says transformation. All right, so we're going to state that it's a reflection. All right, in the line of, and this is the line, it's the opposite thing to y equals x, it's y equals minus x. Okay, and again, you'll understand that a little bit better if you watch the equations of lines video. All right, but basically, if y is something, x is a negative version of that something. All right, so if y is 1, x is minus 1. If y is 2, x is minus 2. And you can see that on that line. Okay, so that it's just knowing that line. It's very useful. I told you that back in the graph section. So thank you again for watching this one. If you've watched it to the end, you'll be listening to this bit and you'll be hearing me. Thank you. All right, and I do appreciate your support and dedication and will to work on yourself and your mathematical ability. I commend it. So well done. Thank you so much. I hope you watch some more. I hope that's not the end of it. There's plenty more to learn. Take care of yourselves. Look after one another. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.